So GiveUA and Jeando, both very well-known players, and yeah, definitely something to look forward to. Just in general, our brackets here are very, very stacked. We talked about this earlier, like having a lot of players, I want to say, that are very even in skill. Like it's very tough at the moment, just from looking at the brackets, to immediately like, okay, yeah, this player wins this one hands down. Like one bracket, we got Lucifron, Zaz, Core, and Eliona all in one bracket. Like that's anybody's bracket out of those four, I want to say.
Yeah, and it's like the fact that by the time we get into quarterfinals, you're getting these clashes where you're like, whoa, who's going to take this, right? Like I even like the idea of stuff like Eliona. You're going to be having, I think, Dragoman versus Sass would be a curious one to watch. You know, you think about people like Ezra, these little upcoming whippersnappers, MSN, all sitting ready to go. It's pretty impressive, actually, the change we've been seeing in terms of the competitive viability, right? Like, you know, we were just talking behind the scenes about Voldemar. Voldemar is probably having the best time of his life in the history of his AoE4 career so far. You know, he snatched a game off of Lucifron in the Povos World Cup the other day. He almost beat Marine Lord in that same tournament, 3-2. Marine Lord had to come back to actually win. It's wild to think just how stacked the competition is becoming as the year goes on. And reminder folks, like this isn't even featuring the ones that qualified, right? We've already got several players who've made it through to the main event, Crackety. You know, we're talking about a little bit of a switch up, right? We know the Beastie's going to be sitting this one out, so his slot has been taken by CSO, but you've already got Poppy Paw, Anna's Hand, Louis, Marine Lord, and Vortex on standby at the main event. So whoever comes through here needs to be on their top game.
Exactly. I mean, all of these, like, different Master Series tournaments right now, they all still contribute to the big one final Masters Finals that we're all looking forward to. So just performing well in these tournaments, so important, as it does very heavily influence your seeding down the line.
Absolutely. And, you know, we think about the people coming into this, you said this matchup alone is like, wow, okay, this early, times have changed. We've got to be real about this, Crackety. Americans, they still chant NA, but in their hearts runs the blood of moose these days. You know, GiveUAnxiety used to be their top dog, but in recent times, he's kind of been slipping down those rankings more and more as the years have been going on. So not the beast that we remember from the very early days, but still a competent player.
100%. Now, yeah, it's kind of like, as you said, like the stars of NA definitely have to be the Canadian twins. Now, we do also have Magic, who's also like starting to play again. I actually haven't checked. Has
he actually signed up? I didn't see him.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, yeah, he did sign up. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's the thing, right? Like, from the USA, there aren't even that many players in Age of Empires in general. It kind of makes you think, right? Maybe it's more like the theme of Age of Empires, right? Like the medieval theme is like mostly, I want to say, European focused in that regard.
I mean, it only makes sense. Like, the Americans don't even know what a real castle looks like. They don't have any. So, you know, I mean, like, they're forever in feudal, right? They built their forts out of wood. What stone?
They're just waiting for Imperial age to get their guns in. Before that, it's not really their game, is it?
So what you're saying is if they add in a civ that has guns in the Dark Age, American stocks.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be what Geo is waiting for the comeback. But reminder, we have got some maps that you aren't going to be seeing on the ladder. Dry Arabia is an obvious one. We've always seen that. Borderland you're familiar with, but always have to remind people about Excavation, because that map is... I'm going to be real. I'm kind of surprised it was used again, because I think it's a cool concept, but it also, last time we saw, became a little bit linear in terms of which civs made sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, mainly we're just looking at Mongols for Jeando there, I want to say, on Excavation. It's truly absurd just how many units you can double produce with Mongols there on Excavation, and it's such a big value proposition as well, because essentially what you're doing, at least with Keshik, for example, is you're turning free stone, fast gathered stone, into pure gold and food, which, you know, at least early on in the game, is a very, very important resource to have access to all the time. So being able to double produce food-heavy units there, it makes Mongols one of, if not the strongest civilization on Excavation. Another civilization, of course, being House of Lancaster, but even House of Lancaster doesn't need stone as much as Mongols. Like, Mongols just pump out units like there's no tomorrow.
No, and you know, the thing with that as well is once you get a few of those camps set up, you even get like a 2TC build going, right? You can actually double produce villages consistently with enough stone gen. The other thing to keep in mind is like you hit it on the head, is you just converting this rapidly gathering resource into units. It's even better than that, right? Because you're also getting double production rates. So you're essentially having two of the same production building if you think about it, right? It's the Delhi effect, which we've seen for Delhi. A big part of why they're able to dominate so early on is because they get that vomit of troops. But we'll have to see what GiveUA has in mind when we get there, because I call it the Baltoon French maneuver, if you remember that game where he played Excavation and just completely ignored the mechanic and still came out on top against House of Lancaster. We'll see if we get that. But opening-wise, I think we're ready to hop in a second. We are going to be going to Dry Arabia, and it is going to be something all too familiar. Sushi and Malians, but hopefully in a time where Pro Scouts is starting to die.
I don't think we're quite there yet, KP. I don't think that I don't think we're at a point yet where Pro Scouts is going to be quote-unquote dead here. I think this is very much so a situation where you do want to Pro Scout, though. This is a match, I want to say, like Zhuji's Legacy up against the Malians, where I want to say just before the Pro Scout meta, the way to play this was very interesting as Zhuji's Legacy, because you would have to go 2TC. Like, if a civilization plays up against the Malians without Pro Scouts and doesn't 2TC, down the line, if they can't kill Malians and Feudal Age, it just gets worse and worse for them. The cow boom just is too strong in that regard.
And, you know, the thought here is that Shushi should have the edge, or at least starting Pro Scouts. But with some Malians, they're bullies, man, right? Their goal isn't to beat you to the Pro Scout timing. The goal is to beat your scouts to death.
They do always have that benefit of getting to Warrior Scouts, so it's one of those situations where if both players go for Pro Scouts, it's the opponent of the Malians that has to add in the second unit first, because you can't just like go Scout versus Scout.
And like where Malian players have had great success is if they can like get into the Donzos, for example. You know, Shushi player going Chuganu, they already know as they're queuing it up what's going to happen next from a Mali player. One thing I will say I've been seeing out Malians has been looking more and more effective at the moment is an evolution into these Sofa feudal plays, right? Like a lot more feudal play Sofa compared to what we saw, say, a year ago.
Yeah, it's what I think it was like 3-4 months ago where Sofa received a pretty good buff to both their health and their damage in Feudal Age. It made them an incredibly strong unit to mass into in Feudal Age. Just having, I want to say, like a pseudo knight, which, like, honestly, just very, very strong base stats for not that high of a cost, especially for a civilization like Malians, where they already have a lot of ways of just generating gold passively. So having a unit to spend the gold on, it's just such a beautiful synergy there for you that really allows the Malians to stick it out in Feudal Age for a very long time. And this is where this current matchup kind of becomes very, very interesting, because Zhuji's Legacy, we talked about this, right? Like Pro Scout still being very, very prevalent, and obviously a super strong strategy. You just get so much food in there for your unit production, also for potential age up. The thing is, Malians, they have all the tools that they need to hold out against a Zhuji fast castle like Knight or even Men-at-Arms Palace Guards push, anything like that. Because all their units in Feudal Age, they have a unit to counter everything out in Castle Age from Zhuji's Legacy.
Exactly, and that's where it gets interesting. If a Shushi player can find their way into the Zugzugs, that's the weird answer to all the anti-armor that Mali have. Like, you know, we had a game like this the other day between Shushi and Malians, where it's like, I mean, if he actually gets Zugs here, he just wins, because, like, you know, if you got the armored units, so if you get Chuganu plus Lancers, your opponent's like, well, I need to add in either Musafadi or Donzos. That gets cleared fast. But, you know, where Malians feel safe, where they've always looked good, has been this idea of Sofa and then something else. At the moment, the meta is Archers. But what we've been seeing from Malian players, they're being so good at actually getting Archer Sofa in Feudal Age, whereas it used to be, you had to be adding the Javelins instead.
I personally still a big fan of just massing mass javelins as Malians. Yeah, it's something that the Canadians do all the time as well, just going for this big lump of javelin throws, where with enough micro, like, it kind of doesn't really matter really what your opponent makes, just the base damage being so high. And also just opens a much bigger, or rather better path into a potential Farimba play as well.
I think in this matchup,
the Musafadi javelin throws are still kind of broken.
We don't really see them recently, actually. Like, it seems like people, the movement speed was quite big, right? Like, they lost half of their increased movement speed.
That's true. That's true. Still, it's kind of like this weird thing with movement speed, right? Like it's very, I want to say like weird when you see the stats of movement speed, but so much at the moment in the current meta or like in the current mechanic set that we have in Age of Empires 4, so much more is decided by formation shuffling and like catch-up formations and stuff like that, rather than the actual movement speed of the unit.
I think that was where the Javeliniers were getting ridiculous, right? Because you'd line formation to just push them out and away from a threat. And it just meant that horsemen weren't actually catching them. But we have got pro scouts coming through as expected. Jeando. What is his opening going to be here? Because
he also opened up with stable, so I would assume that it should also be pro scouts, but he doesn't have enough villagers on gold for that to make sense. So right now, I'm not exactly sure what he's going to go for. Maybe a second pit mine is the idea.
Feels like it, right? He's got wheelbarrow, plus he's got the broadaxe coming, so that'll give him the quick move out, the extra wood. He's got a really good spawn to the north here with the golds. It's a little bit weird though, because although it looks good, it's pretty much like a no come back. You know, like every single gold is just moving further and further away from your base.
Looks like we do have warrior scouts here on the way, just denying some of the pro scouting, but GOA already has that barracks up, is now going to be going into some spearmen. Actually, no, still a vanguard scout, no warrior scout yet. That upgrade is only just now on the way. Yeah, second scout, third scout now in queue, and now we do see an archer range, and the first cattle also coming in. Cattle range already in place, so looks like this is not a play into Jeando's own pro scouts, but rather just utilizing archers and warrior scouts in order to try and deny the pro scouting from GA. But look at this, GA already has like 1,000 food worth of deer coming underneath this mill there.
I don't mind this idea though, right? Like you can go up to 3 or 4 scouts, and you just take them away from where you'll really fight and leave them on the deer. And then what you can do is you can just add in 1 or 2 Sofa, right, to assist the archers. So like it's a decent comp. You said it yourself, right? It's usually force your opponent to make that transition first, and there you go. We are seeing it. Sofa now queued up for Jeando. GUA reading between the lines has now got the horseman on the way.
Yeah, horsemen should still do a pretty good job here. Sofas, they do really good damage, but it's quite difficult to mass a lot of them. At least like 6.5 minutes or on early into the game. Chances are you probably won't have the mass in order to really like surround a horseman, something like that.
Yeah,
to
especially
protect the archers.
Especially without pro scouts, right? Like I thought what we might see here for Jeando is something like playing out to the deer. I think that's a pretty powerful play, and then you get that burst of extra food gather, because the way he's playing this now, he's trying to extend the ranches gradually. He's also probably going to be eating cow. So instead of every piece of gold going into more sofa production, he's sidestepping to get good gathering rates.
GA behind this also taking away the deer here from Jeando's side, so that's going to be a lot of food going over to GA, but Jeando is starting to mass up a relatively good army mass. GA now also switching into Jugunu, so is going to have that full army composition.
A little bit of poke from the scouts. One will get sniped, that's not ideal. Basically, as long as you get away on 1 HP, these guys heal up fast, but they can't heal from dead. It's going to be able to push him back into the base temporarily. It doesn't really feel like GUA is being hindered here, right? With all the deer coming from the north side, he's still got more to the west. You know, at this pacing, Jeando's maybe going to block 1 deer stack. Oh.
Yeah, it's really not a lot. Like, GUA at this point in time, he's like fully manifested when it comes to the pro scouting. Villagers fully working. That's a lot of food income on his side. Look at that, almost hitting that 1,000 food per minute mark. Meanwhile, Jeando, granted, his villagers just went idle for a little bit, so food should spike up in just a moment here.
He's on berries.
But yeah, it's not pretty. And it's not really comparable when we're looking at the income here. Now, does have that second pit mine though, so passive gold income is looking rather nice. We're at 400 gold per minute here at the moment for him. So he does have a lot of gold. He can pump out a lot of sofas, he can get a lot of upgrades in. But it's always so dangerous when you see Juju's Legacy with this much food per minute. All it takes like 1 quick villager pull onto the gold, and after 1 minute, they're gonna hit Castle Age.
How do you feel about the Palace Guard?
I don't think Palace Guard's a really good move at this. Like, I think it's a really bad move to go for Palace Guards right now. Mainly because Palace Guards, they don't really counter out anything here at the moment. They do have some more melee armor than Pierce armor. They got the same Pierce armor as Horsemen at this point in time. But there aren't any Spearmen, so there's no reason to go for Palace Guards over Horsemen.
Yeah, I think it's even worse from the fact that, like, Sofa will get bonus against you. And then it's also the thought is
they don't do bonus damage.
What, the Sofa?
The Palace Guards, they don't do any bonus damage.
No, that's what I'm saying. Sofa get bonus against you, though, right? They get the plus infantry, right?
Yeah, so, but like horsemen would get bonus damage against archers at least.
Yes, and then like the other scary thing here in my mind for GiveUA is like, let's say he decides the Palace Guard is his way and leans into it too hard. There is a world in which Jeando adds in a few Musafadi, right? Like, even if the idea here was to PG and then tech up, like Muso from Nage behind can contest, but big clash coming in. GiveUA, despite the Palace Guard, does have numerical advantage. The Spearmen need to be removed stat. Jeando pulls back the cav, does expose his archers doing so, but most spears have been cleared. The problem here, though, is it's still a forced retreat. Behind this, we have to remember GiveUA still has plenty more food pump and dump coming, being almost double the income.
Yeah, and behind us, there are no blacksmith upgrades for Jeando, so his sofas would get absolutely demolished if the Jugunu get a gap close on them.
That was close. That was so close. GiveUA, I think maybe just a little bit too bloodthirsty there. There's an opportunity to body block 2 of those sofa. Had the horseman count. Still, it's a huge win for him, right? It's the opening he needed. And he's now going to look to jump into that open goal. Castle Age being saved up for.
Blacksmith is now coming in. We're currently sitting at 9 cattle for Jeando, so he is getting a good bit of passive food income as well. The difficult spot right now is, though, that, like, look at how much food GiveUA has. The second he decides, okay, I don't want any more units, the bank just shot up. He pulls like 10, 12 villagers over to gold, and he's going to be hitting Castle Age in like less than a minute here, as I said. And once he gets up to Castle Age, suddenly so many options open up here for him. But I think the main option that we're going to be looking forward to is just mass knights.
Agreed. Like, I don't like the Palace Guard at all, right? Because, like, you know, Sofa we already talked about, and Musafadi as well. So, like, the Lancer play is safest. It also lets you just play flanks here, because natural objective for Shushi next is going to be to go towards those relics. And it is going to be the tried and true, the new Mount Lu Academy. It used to be we always saw the Shaolin monks, but no longer the case, right? The difference that 3 minutes of extra game time can make.
Yeah, Mount Lu Academy, it always had this one bonus, which was very much underestimated, which, like, people weren't even really aware of the bonus existing. Basically, once you get the Mount Lu Academy up, your Imperial officials gather tax twice as often. That's a very, very nice passive bonus to have there. Basically means that you're never going to be floating taxes inside of your buildings, ever.
Yep. And just in case you are, you can even just make your boys so fast that they'll definitely grab all the attacks quick enough. I love that tech. It turns them into annoying little gremlins you can never catch, you know? There's a lot of variability that's useful there. I think there's maybe like one tech in the Mount Lu Academy that you just look at and say, I'll pass.
Yeah, you mean the one where supervised buildings take less damage?
Yes. Military affairs? Something? A bureau, I think? It's like... I think one day, Crackety, we're going to see a King of the Hill game where it's useful. One day.
I mean, it's a big reduction in damage, right? Like, that's basically an Elsbach palace right there.
It's even better than Elsbach, right? It's like, I think Elsbach's now... Was it 33% or is it down to 25%? I think it used to be...
I think it still says 30 in the tooltip. I'm not, you can never be too sure with the tooltips, right? Like, that's how they get you.
It's down to 25. It used to be, I think, 33 or 35. And at some point, there was a few games that people were like, this is stupid, and the devs fixed it. Kind of comical that that's still the 35%, and yet never, ever, ever gets used.
I'm looking right now at GiveUA's army mass, and I'm seeing 14 spearmen, and I'm just kind of wondering, okay, what's he doing right now? Because there was a window, the window was wide open, and you know how just like there's just this gentle breeze, a very gentle breeze right now, slowly but surely closing that window as we do see the Grand Fulani. Okay, it is a very gentle breeze, a single villager building that Grand Fulani Corral. Okay, he's getting some backup now.
It's getting stronger.
So once that Grand Fulani Corral, yeah, it's picking up.
No, the villagers, they aren't doing it still. It's still just the one villager.
It's still the one villager. Oh my god, he's getting distracted.
He misclicked. They're just standing there.
There, he notices. There we go.
Oh, thank God.
He's getting the support he needs. Now Jeando is losing a ton of villagers. He is, but we're getting to the point. 5 more minutes and GiveUA runs out of food inside of his base.
Okay, got it.
And Jeando will never run out of food.
So what you're saying is this guy, and this is very American actually. He's got this proverbial minigun aimed at me, and as long as I can dodge long enough that he runs out of bullets, I can kill him. Is that the appropriate like metaphor?
You know, it's like Zerg in that regard. Like you just kill so many units until you know that. They're at your front. They start piling up. They start piling up and collapse.
They become your new wall. See, that's the mechanic missing in AoE4.
It's a 300 mechanic.
Oh, well, we'll have to see if Jeando can be Leonidas here. I mean, he's got a good comp, right? Sofa plus the archers. And I think you're right on GUA. This plane of spears, I get why he's done it. I've seen Malians just beat Lancer spam from Chushi just because of Fulani, but this isn't that type of game, right? Like, he had a huge window of advantage.
I'm just surprised. Okay, finally, we're seeing the play into the Knights, but I just feel like it might have been just a little bit too late, because now Jeando, he does have that infinite food income with the cattle working for him. He's gonna have the veterancy on the archers. There's the thing, Malians, they get a huge tempo boost upon hitting the castle age, not just because they obviously have the Grand Fulani Corral, but also because all their veterancy upgrade are reduced in cost by 50%. They don't take as long in order to research, and it's just a lot of value that you get right there. Basically, every single upgrade, you're saving like 125 resources there.
No, I agreed. And, you know, I know there's been a lot more lean towards spears in the last few weeks and months. Like, people just appreciating these castle timings. But it is crazy that, like, Lancers is the second fort upon the tech up. I mean, maybe he can find some raid opportunities, but I feel like you get those opportunities before Fulani's complete. So we'll have to see if he's able to brute force a direct fight. He does still have the advantage on count. And they should have it at least for another 3 minutes.
Yeah, behind this GOA did manage to get every single relic as well. First Sacred Site has also been locked in, so that's a ton of passive gold income for him at the moment. Looking at the income though, it's very even between the two. This is the scary timing, right? Like Malians, they suddenly come online with all the cattle. And even though GUA killed 8 villagers, even though GUA has got 5 relics, even though he's gonna get Sacred Sites, down the line, he's going to have to make a farm transition. He's going to have to move out onto the map in order to get resources. And if he can't do that, then you just die. You just fall over and you go into fetal position and complain about the game on Reddit.
Something. I only have like 20% more of whatever, infinite gold, ramped up production speeds, quicker attack cavalry.
The deer.
Are you kidding me? He actually got it in. But, you know, can I please get easier farms? So that's going to extend his life a bit. The boar isn't easily accessible here. Like, they're both southern spawn.
Oh.
I can... and now the sofa, come on.
Oh, well.
Jeando.
There
I mean, just trust in the auto attack.
Yeah,
GUA doesn't notice very quickly, though. There. Hello? I think that is without textiles, right? So just like, yeah, dying a little bit too quickly there. Oh, he does? Okay. It didn't feel like it. No, the sofas with the wall-ups turns on the stables now. We'll better club him down there.
It's another 3 villagers, and suddenly villager count almost equalize, and one of these players has cattle and the other does not.
Yeah, and this is basically revenge for that strike on the deer before, right? And we are going to get a little bit of a raid. Nicely identified there. Catches the berry workers at the back. Jeando, I don't know why we're eating berries. Did no one tell you we're a meat-loving nation here, okay? We worship Ron Swanson. We don't need any vegetation. We've got cow.
Behind this, we're now also getting the poison arrow archers in, and Jeando, he's managed to keep his archer mass healthy throughout the entire time, almost sitting at 30 archers here. And GUA, he's got 30 spearmen. Now, these archers, they're going to be able to feast upon those spearmen once they engage, surely sometime.
Soon. Patience, Padawan. We need to let him come in a little bit deeper. Got to get beyond the threshold, the point of retreat. And now you just wedge yourself in there. The sofa? A little bit hesitant, not sure why. He can just jump the tube, gets the spearman, and now cut off entirely. Jeando, given the perfect split for a fight.
And just like that, I mean, it's so many sofas at this point as well now. You can actually start just trading out the sofas against the knights. And there are some more villagers going down, but it's gold villagers. Gold is something that Jeando has plenty of in the bank right now. And yeah, honestly, I feel like at this point in time, the windows are starting to like close more and more. This gentle breeze has kind of started becoming a storm here for GiveUA. The windows shut close, and Jeando, as long as he just reacts to the unit movement here from GiveUA appropriately, looking at the army mass, he is now very far behind. GiveUA now switching over into the Yuan dynasty, so we'll be able to get some pagodas in. 3 relics with that as well. That's 750 resource per minute. That's a comeback right there.
Now, there's an interesting thought here. GiveUA is definitely going to need farms, but considering what Jeando's building, if he hunkers down with a few nest of bees, there is a decent defensive fight to be had here. The question is going to be, where do you set up those farms so that you can actually guard them? Because you're not China, who can just go Imperial instead and get a Great Wall Gatehouse, right? You don't have any stone for keeps. It's going to be difficult when you look at the way the tree lines are spawned to set up your farm safely.
Yeah, 100%. Now, the nice thing about the pagodas is that they do give you a lot of food.
Yeah.
Like, actually, just a ton of resource that you're going to be getting with those pagodas. GA realizing that, immediately focusing into that. We do see 3 of them being built up here immediately. Monks already standing by with the relics. Going to be seeing those garrisoned in just a second. There we go. Oh, never mind. That's the wrong building.
My efficiency. All right, there we go.
Look at that. Immediately plus 31 food right there.
But the army's coming. Jeando, he's been like, wait a second. I haven't been hit in the face for 2 minutes. Something's not right. He starts to march across.
And I think he does realize that GiveUA is now at a point of weakness for the Juju's legacy. Looking at the army mass, looking at the army value, Jeando, he's looking more alive than ever. And the base from GiveUA, it's pretty condensed. There's not a whole lot of places to flee to with your villagers. I
don't like this from him either. GiveUAnxiety, he's trying to raid to force Jeando back. But unless there's nest of bees, I don't see any reason why Jeando wouldn't just go in. You've just sacked your front line, right? You don't have heavy cap to help you, but you do find the villagers. Hold on, Jeando. There's no reaction. GiveUA gets in. God. There's a dive into the base, though.
That's all the villagers. Why are all the villagers on wood?
Why are they on wood there?
Don't look at the villagers! No way! No way! What? That was actually all the villagers? Why?
That was everything but about 5 or 6 villagers on berries in the corner.
God.
Unbelievable!
That is a way to lose the game. Yeah, I mean,
I don't think I've ever seen someone do that before. Can you like download your match history? Can you recall a game like that? I don't. For wood.
40 villagers on the wood line there, suddenly getting caught out in the archers. What are the archers doing there without the sofas right now? Now's the moment where GiveUA collapses on them with the rest of the military. The archers don't have the sofa support anymore, and the sofas are getting mowed down by the returning knights from Jeando's base.
Unbelievable. I thought maybe 10, maximum 15 up there, and you just dive in and win the main fight, right? But no, Jeando will get nothing but an L after that. He needs a big win in this fight, which just doesn't seem feasible. There's equal count heavy cav on both sides. The Chu can contest into the archers reasonably well here. And folks, this is just wave number 1. There's a second monster coming over the hill from the left side, and that's going to have the repeater crossbows to run Jeando out of town.
Jeando, he also forgot to make units here for a while, only just now queuing up some sofas again.
With what wood will I build more archers?
Yeah, the archers are really the treasure here right now that he just cannot remass anymore at this point in time. We're seeing a switch up into Musafadi warriors as well. Yeah, no more wood income there. A couple more reinforcements coming in. But it's kind of crazy, right? Like, he's down to 19 villagers and still gathers with 1,200 food per minute, 400 gold per minute. That's kind of absurd, obscene in other ways, but that's just Malians for you. But it's not going to be enough against the army here from GiveUA.
I mean, it really shouldn't be. His front line is failing. It's just Archer Mass left, which he can't rescale realistically. He can keep building Sofa, but like that just kind of simplifies things for GiveUA, right? Like if you just spam spears here, you're pretty content.
My count is starting to wear thin a little bit on the front line. The Sofas do have all the pierce armor, so yeah, just looking at the Jugunu, it's kind of sad, like when they try to do damage to the Sofa.
Especially when they just don't attack the archers in range. Oh no. Crackety, there's no way he wins this now, right? Like he just lost 80% of his villagers?
I've seen games, KP. I've seen games. You have too.
I have questionable games, and this might be becoming questionable here. GiveUA, an overextension in a game where he does not have farms. He's double boring to the south. If Jeando realizes that and strikes at that food, GiveUA will be the one without an inability to remass.
Now, GiveUA does have a good amount of resource in the bank that would, in theory, allow him to make farms.
In theory. But
will he?
I mean, I would hope he would get a tiny bit more gold and build a certain building first to make those farms cheaper. But at this point, I just take any farms. Yeah. I mean, the ball can't stay safe here.
It's
Surely
42
not.
military to 19, and GiveUA is making palace guards, the one unit.
What?
The one unit that dies to both the poison arrow archers and the Sofas.
No, Crackety, it's better than that. He's making the 2 units that die to Sofa. I can't believe this game. This is ridiculous. Sofa now riding in.
It truly is.
Villagers on the front line. He has still got some lancers to play with, which is why Jeando will have to slow down. But once those lancers are gone, there we go. GiveUA is starting to queue up more with the limited food he's got left. The berries just ran out. The boars must be down to about half left. It is going to be a failed push. Jeando will have to reset, but it won't be the end of him. Because, believe it or not, Crackety, Jeando still has 1,000 food income for, let me just do the maths quickly, infinite minutes.
Yeah, it's something. It's something. We are getting the Jiangnan Tower in. Now, GiveUA, he is all about that efficiency. So he wants to get that Song Dynasty in before he starts making those farms. And honestly, with the amount of wood he has with Song Dynasty, he should be able to immediately just drop down 3 granaries and fill them all up. So he's going to have an instant, fully kitted out farm transition as soon as that Jiangnan Tower comes in. His food income is going to look quite nicely there. I mean, it's still crazy that we got to this spot, though. And we do find the villagers going down on the board.
So we'll club them down. And that's giving him the foresight now to check the other board, right? Because you're like, okay, if he's doing this with one, he's probably doing it with both at this stage. That one isn't guarded either. So I'd expect Sophus to move over there soon. It would be a huge difference maker as well, right? Bringing that eco difference down to probably about 15 or less. But, you know, it does feel like Jeando, he slowed down off that brute force didn't work. And now I'm worried, right? Because this is the time to actually strike at Xuxi when he's setting up the farms.
It is, but it's also not, because GiveUA has been having this much wood in the bank for quite some time. So it's not an investment when you already have the funds available.
Yeah, if anything, he might, you know, you could argue he's been losing money just by having it all sit there, you know? Probably a little bit of wood rot setting in.
He has no interest on wood in the bank. Yeah.
It's actually crazy. Still sitting with 1,500 woods. And Jeando now with a second team. I tell you what, if he comes back from this, he is a god. It's absurd to think what he lost and how he hasn't just fallen flat. The fact that he's continuously maintained military advantage in both quantity and army value.
It is 100% absurd just seeing this game getting like ping pong back and forth here between the two players. I feel like GiveUA just doesn't really know right now how to really approach the situation. He's still making palace guards, he is making knights. I want to say it is a difficult one for sure, like just army composition wise, when it comes to what unit should you really be making here against this army composition of poison arrow archers and Sofas.
It's
at the moment, like mass horsemen with the with like the bonus attack speed from Judy's Legacy with knights, like just pure cavalry pretty much should be the correct answer.
Which he can now afford. Now the farms are up, I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Like before the farms are up, that's bold. But like I feel for GiveUA because like the Lancer strat, you know, it makes sense in your mind. Okay, got an advantage, keep raiding flanks, kill more villagers. But this is not that type of game, right? Like, there's no villagers to kill, or there wasn't anyway. So, like, this concept of trying to fixate on getting back to raiding doesn't make sense. But there's the horsemen you asked for. They are going to be queued up now, alongside spearmen.
That's good. Like, having just a couple of spearmen in there, even though you're not going to be, like, min-maxing with archers against the spearmen when there's, like, huge armies and, oh my god, we're getting...
Lancers in. No, it's not happening again.
Here.
No, again. What is Jeando and trees? Oh my god, this man lives in a meadow. He's never seen lumber before in his life because it's just his blind spot.
Back down to 20 villagers again. He's getting put back into the Dark Age here at this rate, and he still has noticed.
I think Jeando's wife had an affair with the local lumberjack. It's the only reason that I can explain for why he hates woodworkers so much. He's almost down to single-digit villager count on 2 TC and 30 minutes in the game.
I think it's time to add a third TC.
Maybe a fourth. We might get up to 40 villagers before we get killed again.
KP, Malian TCs cost gold. I don't think you can afford another TC. There we go. Yeah, there's a third TC.
What are you on about? These Malians, he's got infinite gold.
But he wants to make sofas as well.
That's like asking a Saudi prince if he can afford to fill up his car. It's like, bro, I got oil under my feet. I'm doing good with this. Chill. Give him another minute. He'll be able to afford another TC. Actually, oh wait, no, the wood. Damn it, all the lumberjacks are dead again.
Crazy how that works. We're almost approaching triple digits archer count here from Jeando. Is there like a magical achievement that you get, like Marine Lord win condition activated, something like that?
No. So you know how we have like you name things after people, right? Like I have the Kilyadi award, right? Which is where like you are 30 plus minutes in with 6 villages. I mean, Jeando's actually close to getting that award, but this would be a new type of award called the Jeando Award, right? Have 20 villagers and 180 archers, so that's 140. Let's be reasonable, right? Considering the amount of lumberjacks that have died in this game, that would be impressive.
I would have argued the Kiljadi Classic to be you get the best spawn in the game, and you still call them with the luckiest man alive when you lose.
Oh, dear. They do like their banter. But Jeando, I don't think there's any time to type in this one. He's like, no. He still hasn't killed me. I've come back from worse. However, this time, for every archer you have, there's going to be just as many Zhugenu. GUA. This is the answer he's been looking for. The sofa count is too low. We've finally done it. Reached breaking point. It only took GUA 2 ginormous attempts where he massacred the Malian economy, but now we can finally say he has the military edge.
I was gonna say, like, if he was able to hold that choke point, if GUA just like tried headbutting against it for a little bit longer, maybe.
He's like, oh yeah, like John is like, no, don't leave, come back here, over here. In here. Yeah, hello. This way. Yeah, there we go. Right on the gate. Stay here.
That's where you want to be.
Wait for my new sofas. Yeah, I just realized this is actually...
Is Jeando getting raided again on the other side? Okay.
Yeah,
there's nothing to kill there, though. Because there just isn't anything.
The woodcutters are on the front line now. they are part
where they're safe
of the defense. Where they're safe. It's like, oh, why is this like axe you've given me covered in blood? It's just like your ancestors worked really hard. Yeah, like, well, the hand is still attached to it. That's all they left with the body.
It's free, don't worry. You don't have to pay for it. I won't charge you.
Yeah, the hand is a bonus. You still pay for the axe, though. So Jeando, up to 44 archers again. But I feel like we're in the death throes of a man who, like, Jeando, he's a caster as well, right? Like, he understands the epicness of a comeback here. You've got to play for it, right? Just imagine, 20 years from now, when he's got a kiddo, he could sit there, just telling the tales to them of how he slayed the great American.
What a comeback it could have been, though. I'm just thinking back to if those villagers on the wood line, instead of dying, just were still alive.
Like that. Yep. I mean, it's the same around Chernobyl, right? Like if that reactor didn't go off, I mean, just how different that place would have been, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you wouldn't have like deer with 3 eyes or something like that.
Well, I mean,
How fun
maybe if the
would that
deer
have
had
been?
3 eyes, they would have been able to make noises to warn the Malian woodcutters about
Yeah, the deer do
impending
tend to
danger.
tell a lot to players.
They do bleat a lot. You
Yeah.
know what? It's time to control alt delete. This is over. Jeando, there are no archers left. It was a valiant effort, mate. But you can hold your head high as you head back to the lobby. You'll still get a loss, but bloody hell, what a game.
What a game indeed, and that means that GA is going to be able to pull ahead in this best of 3 by 1, so already going to be on match point. Jeando still has an opportunity, though, for a comeback in this series, but looking at the total resources gathered here, looking at the economy count, this game was a roller coaster, just by definition.
I tell you what, for the opening game of the day, it's just, should we just end the stream? It's been an hour, you know. I think we can all agree it's not going to get better than that.
You know, GOA games, they tend to be a little bit longer, so you never know. Maybe we're still going to be seeing like a reverse sweep here coming up. I'm interested to see what they're going to be picking next. I do really want to see Excavation coming in here, and I do want to see Mongols on there.
I mean, it would be a way to get us that free game series in GUA. He did highlight in the draft. You know, his picks look a bit horrific. I think horrific's appropriate for that map. In the nothing he's picked there uses the resources realistically. So there might still be hope of more memery afoot between these two, but yes,
I feel
game 1 win.
Stonewall's still banned. Have we as a society come far enough in order to allow feudal age Stonewalls?
Stop.
I don't think so.
Maybe if it's a gold level rank tournament, maybe. You know, like low elo World Cup.
Wait, you're saying that only players in low elo can't make good use of Stonewalls?
No, I'm just saying that they do it. It's all they do. Have you ever watched like low elo games? It's like, oh wow, look, it's 5 minutes. I better go over to the stone. Oh, he must be TCing. Oh, he is TCing, but he's also building 15 wall tiles.
They're just used to playing Stronghold, man. It's all about the Stonewalls.
It's a peak game for building your castles. I feel like we need to get some extra like layers that we can like up build to. You remember that Stronghold where you build like a wall in the high ground, one in the low ground, and then you build a long stair to connect it? You're like, yeah. I feel like a genius. Oh, but wait.
You get like towers where you can put siege on top of it immediately. Wait, what? It's
He
not
doesn't go excavation. No, he saves it to last.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sure. Save it for that's one way to do it. Saving it for last.
I mean, in fairness, think of it this way. You'll have to come back to this anyway, right? So even if you get an awesome victory in Excavation, it's short-lived when you have to come to this BS. But if you're good enough to beat this BS, then you just win, right? Like, it just feels like you get the hard out of the way so you can enjoy the easy afterwards, right? Like, I just done a 3-hour climb yesterday, Crackety, right? We started on overhangs because we knew 3 hours in we were going to be crying for mama, all right?
You
so
wouldn't
like,
have the strength for them.
Yeah, they do. Like, I ain't got the calories for that, right? So, like, you get the hard out of the way first. And he has got Chinese for that.
He does. GOA, though, with the French. And, you know, French and Chinese, it's one of those things, right? Like in a situation where both players go for like a long feudal age potentially, you do not want to be the Chinese in this matchup.
No, like I've seen this play out, right? Like for China, your goal is always hit castle because if you play along feudal, knights are the kings, right? As you scale up, it'll be knight archer versus spear, say Chiganu. And the problem there is like the knight count when it's low, you can maybe get them low enough and kill them, but once it gets to like 20 knights, the way they keep formation shuffling, it's like the injured ones just are never being hit, right? So chivalry just heals them up, and you feel like you're just in the slowest death cycle you've ever experienced in AoE for.
It's always a tricky one, right? Like at least previously, like in the past, it's always been the case in this matchup between like China and French. Like French just masses up knights the entire time, and just makes sure that China is being kept honest and in feudal age, and they don't overextend, like they don't just go up to Castle Age, and then suddenly China goes up to Castle Age and they die. Either they die or they don't die. If they don't die, they win. If they die, you typically lose if you die.
If they die, then it's like, Lamau, what? Like, why? Like, China's not meant to die. Like, how'd this happen? I mean, it's crazy still that China's getting through the ban phase ever, right? Like, I don't know. Byzantines is definitely up there, though. I think Byzantines has become kind of like what Rus used to be, if you get what I mean. Like, they are generically applicable and very effective in almost every situation.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like HRE's there as well, but I almost feel like Byzantines might have overtaken HRE in that role.
Byzantines definitely is like this civilization where when you think about the bad matchups, it's like, yeah, but it's not that bad, honestly, and it's one of those civilizations that just don't have any like straight up doomed matchups, I want to say.
Yeah, no, it's, and the weird thing is, like, the only thing I like what Byzantines bring from the idea that it's none of this, let's just build TC's Lamau bollocks anymore. Like, what they do is like a better form of that. It's almost like what I've seen Byzantines do with that type of economy, I almost wish every eco kind of had that as a baseline, you know what I mean? Where, like, the accelerant to the game, right? Where things could just happen at a much more vibrant pace. But in fairness, Dark Age has actually probably been the best state it's ever been. So props to the devs for that. It is definitely being the big improvement. I do not expect any Dark Age here, though, because
it's a large distance. And yeah, like,
they don't.
Making a barracks in Dark Age for the Chinese, that's not fun for them.
No, and French, very rare. But let's hop into, who knows, GiveUA. He is known for his aggression, but I think in this situation, he might just chillax and think about Pro Scouts, because we are on board land, a Pro Scout aficionado map for China versus French. Game number 2. GiveUA able to take that early lead. Jeando with the most potent civ and competitive AoE4 right now. A good opportunity to strike back.
Yeah, I think this is one of those situations, right? Like, these two civilizations, they're the classic. Two OG civilizations from the game. But we've had so many meta changes. Like, this matchup has gone like one way or the other multiple times. And now we're currently in a stage where China has a much easier time than they used to when it comes to getting food in on the map, thanks to Pro Scout, and then like having a Castle Age follow-up that's just not easily deniable by the French, especially if China like really plays it defensively, maybe get some extra outposts on the gold as well, hand cannon placements. Like, hand cannon placements by default is like the anti-knight archer type like emplacement, like so much penetration going through there. It works really, really well.
Yeah, over 80% of the damage hitting through, like, it's brutal. Like, we've seen French players just frustrating to be up against this Civ, but in fairness, the map is pretty good for it, right? Like, you know, this, you have to think of this map the same way you do a Prairie or Himiyama, maps where raiding is very much empowered because of how small those tree lines are.
Yeah, the tree line's not the biggest here. The tree line's not the biggest. It gets risky when you're it gets risky when you're making archers and stuff like that. Just any wood-dependent unit, very difficult when you're being aggressed onto. Now, French could probably still make archers just because they're typically the aggressor. They don't really have to be too careful about their wood lines. But it's definitely something to always that you just have to watch out for. Imperial Academy now coming in for the Chinese, getting rushed up here. We did have that no IO opening here from Jeando. Imperial Academy just probably the strongest landmark at the moment for the Chinese, just in general throughout all the ages. The amount of tempo that you get with this landmark, the amount of gold, the amount of value that you get, it just skyrockets this civilization throughout the entire game.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, the thing with China is they used to be weak at this point, right? Ever since they changed to Imperial Academy, I just don't see that weakness anymore. Like, it's kind of ludicrous. There's the one point where it was kind of...
And the School of Cavalry coming in for GiveUA. We have a lot of villagers going on to wood now from Jeando. The question is right now that I'm asking myself is what his game plan is going to be. If this is going to be like a Pro Scout build order, or whether he is just trying to progress through the age, make some units before going for pro scouts. Only 2 villages in gold kind of makes me doubt that it's pro scouts. Maybe he just wants to get all the Imperial officials out, make units, and deny pro scouts from GA. But I always talk about this. I don't think you can ever really deny pro scouts. You can only really delay it.
Yeah, it's... I mean, you can delay it, but inevitably with taxation, right? We've even seen builds where Shushi, they legit just actually hop onto taxation instead. Like, I've actually seen games where they just don't bother. They, like, if you're going to get spear rush at the start, right, they just medi-garden, and they just slowly wake their way up in general. With China, it's a little bit different. You have to go onto the gold at the start because you don't want to open Imperial officials. But once you're there, it just feels it's inevitable. The good news, though, for French is, like, French is phenomenal at taking advantage of a delayed pro scout timing, courtesy of just how cheap pro scouts becomes to them. Like, they get wheelbarrow and pro scouts for the same price as pro scouts.
That's a pretty good deal.
Can I get...
We do have the barracks coming in now. And pro scouts now for GUA in queue as well, so will just be the classic French tries to go for the for pro scouts, and China trying to deny that. But Jeando does also have a lot of gold, and there is a stable coming up now, so he will also try to go for his own eventual pro scout here.
I mean, stables plus the racks, it's the obvious opening, right? Like, usually China opens Spearman first anyway, just inherently because that first night, especially on a map like this. But the thing to keep in mind is, like, it can be very tricky to use those Spearmen other than defensively, right? Like, I think the one civ that does it quite well here is probably HRE because of the marching drills. It's just so many deer stacks to cover, considering that it is basically split 34 deer top to bottom across the map, right? Like, it's 4 different angles that you have to somehow cover.
It is a lot, 100%. Benefit is here that you don't have to, like, necessarily cover all of them at the same time. Especially with Chinese, just because you can, like, rapidly, like, really, really rapidly get these scouts out. Jeando not really getting the scouts out quite rapidly yet, though. Has even... I don't think he's queued up pro scouts yet. No, he's
got it. He's got it.
Text upgrade?
This is
he's just queued it up. He just queued it up.
Oh, sorry, Jeando. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong side. Yeah, yeah, he's a little bit delayed. But the interesting thing I was gonna say is, like, with GUA, you know, Jeando will go for the heavy scout pump, but we see French do this all the time. French and JD usually 3 to 4 scouts maximum. The goal is just to get enough coming back because there's a confidence layer of, like, you can control the map so well with knights, whereas other civs that tend to go 7, 8 scouts, they're doing so because they don't feel like they can hold on to the map control, right? Like, Rus is another example of this. They just want to get their deer, get it home, and then get out the age. Whereas French...
That's true.
They thrive off of these delayed plays.
You don't mind sticking it out in feudal age, and 3 to 4 scouts is typically enough to have your villagers working on the deer the entire time throughout. So it's not really, like, an issue where you're suddenly struggling for food if you only go for 3 scouts. Jeando with the Chinese, on the other hand, like, he can easily afford just getting, like, 4, 5, 6 scouts and just wreaking havoc on these deer packs here. He's got a good amount of units here behind this as well. Already seeing some horsemen coming in for the archers as well. Do have a good amount of spearmen out already. The one thing, though, is that he's not really actively using his spearmen at the moment. We're actually seeing a defensive outpost coming in as well for GA on the gold.
Interesting.
So we'll be quite safe there.
Yeah, so he just wants to try and be full aggro, right? Like, the idea here is that we're being fought gold, there is going to be a risk, and you never want to be in a situation where your knights can't choose where they fight, right? Like, on such an open map as well, it feels even worse to just be using your knights at home, knowing how many angles of approach you'd have on your opponent.
Race almost coming in, but GA realizes in time. Will pull the knight back.
Archer's just getting a little lick of damage in there on the retreat.
What's nice behind this for French as well is that we're keeping up in the economy count against the free, well, not free, but the discounted Imperial officials, just with the faster TC time.
Yeah.
Oh, snipe though.
This is not ideal though. GUA.
Oh, it's really bad.
Sleeping in the wheel here. Yeah, I guess another loss. So 2 knights go down there. On the other side, it was a sack of what? 2 spearmen and a horseman for a scout. So a little bit of a trade out there, but still one that should favor Jeando mathematically, right? Knights a lot more pricey.
That horseman isn't really important. There's no healing for these civs anyways on horsemen.
you mean he's not important? Okay, like there's someone out there that probably loves him. Okay,
This guy dies the second somebody just looks at him funny.
it's like it's almost like an Austin Powers spin-off type thing. The death stare. Oh! I'm having a heart attack.
That's how it works. Like a Dungeons and Dragons bard could finish him off. Vicious mockery.
Rolled natural 20. Oh no. Turns out this was the guy that we've been looking for the last 20 hours.
Yeah, it's all like that Tom Cardy song.
Exactly like that Tom Cardy song.
Yeah, he's still just massing the knights, still just massing the archers. This is an army composition that French kind of never really wants to leave. At one point, they supplement the archers for arbalètrier, but until that point, like, this is the army composition for them to have.
Yeah.
And this is one of the main benefits here for Jeando. We've seen it in the last game. He's prone to losing villagers, but having villagers there kind of saves him from that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, though. GiveUA, he's starting to hold some reserves, so... A little bit surprising here. Like, French is usually the one that just keeps pedal to the metal, right? Like, there's just so much benefit in scaling knights. The weird part is Jeando now takes advantage of this, just blobbing like no tomorrow, right? Almost double the military count. He's getting as well. Horsemen strike onto the archers. Knights are giving chase, but there's not many of them here. And the spearmen are quickly chasing up behind. But Outpost will be saving grace. Chivalry has been queued. And GiveUA... All right, it is going to be a recommitment, but that was a lot of stockpiling, actually. So, yeah, a little bit of a miss macro coming through.
Behind this now, we're in an interesting position right now. I don't think Song Dynasty would really help Jeando in any shape, way, or form right now at the moment. He's already killed a lot of knights, and can he kill 2 more knights here? Two
He's
more
already
knights
killed
here?
2. He might get a third.
Like, if he doesn't kill them, they're just going to heal back up to full.
Yeah,
That's actually huge for GiveUA.
Oh my god, I
Keeping
don't think
these
you
3 knights
realize.
alive.
Because Jeando, like, that knight was low enough. I think the horseman would have one-tap finished him, right? But
Yeah.
he didn't turn around and hit. He just went for the archer. Now, he did get 2 worker kills out of that, which is important here. He said he couldn't go Song, but if he can't go Song, he needs to be finding these type of extraction kills. Because remember, this is the point where the French TC is just taking over. The villager count is beating the taxmen.
Yeah. Still, having taxation at this point in time, like, we should be getting to a point in time where Jeando should be able to get to Castle Age and then just pump out enough knights to be able to just take a fight up against GiveUA. I haven't seen that here yet so far. It's like Jeando, every now and then he hoards enough resource to potentially go for the play, but he hasn't opted to go for the play yet. Horsemen diving past the knights, onto the archers. Spearmen still trying to take down the outpost here. Some villagers trying to go for the repair.
Not going to be able to hang around, though. They have to pull away. 2 do go down, and the spearmen are going to dive past. They'll come back towards the outpost now. I think you can hang around here. Now, it has got, I think, knights inside there. Judging by the fact we've got
at
a plus
least one
side.
knight.
Yeah.
It has to be at least 1 weak knight in the outpost.
Either
2
that-
weak knights.
either that
3
was-
weak knights.
Even that there's a new medic unit in the game. He's just like, this is a medical center now. So 3 knights so much on death's door, they just throw their lances away and say, villagers, you've got this. And behind it, Jeando is now going for that barbican.
Okay, that's a really nice placement. On the boar, on the sacred side, gets the gold mine there as well. That's a very nice barbican.
Yeah, and there's no way GiveUA is going to know about it because the knights are in full defensive mode. Dive comes in again from Jeando. Able to idle out
I
the
think
gold fully.
Jeando just didn't get enough deer and that he felt comfortable with just going for Castle Age. He would probably run out of food in that regard. So I like the play of realizing that and going for the boar now.
I think
Gonna give him a ton of food.
the other interesting thing here is GiveUA, you know, I think his, like, the miss macro about, 2.5 minutes ago really cost him here. You're seeing the ripple effects of it. You know, he wasn't pumping knights non-stop, even though he had the resources. And now it's come back to bite him in the ass when his goal keeps getting assaulted. It's just more and more and more food bloat. You know, at this stage, I'd love to just see, like, maybe double racks here, get some spears out. You've got all this food, but with the harassment on the gold, you're just finding no way of using it.
That's the thing as well, like, against the army composition from Jeando, just, you don't even need a ton of spearmen. Like, 3 or 4 spearmen alone would completely ruin Jeando's ability to engage any fight.
Yes, it just feels more and more enabled the more this goes on. Intercept from the north side. Jeando is now hunkered on the boar. It's also guarding the central deer. And his Barbican does everything that he needs and more, right? Even secures the extra gold vein, which he's now shifting across onto. So might be that we see him steer towards Castle next. Would make sense from his current position. GiveUA is thinking about steering towards Imperial, but he will have to go Castle first.
Ooh, another clash here. Archers doing their best to pick off the formation shuffling, though. Archers being put to the back. Have to be so careful there with the formations.
Yeah, they're going to get exposed
But
again.
these fights just don't feel too comfortable every time for G. What is the gold that he just doesn't have any? He's got 2,000 food KP.
I can't believe he pulled the guild hall already. The gold isn't ready.
This might just be a game where he's trying to go for Imperial Age straight out Feudal Age.
I mean, GiveUA, I'm trying to think.
That's a move right there.
I was about to say, because I don't think nurses earn that much in the US, so he couldn't bribe the devs to add in an option to go Feudal to Imperial. He's going to have to get up properly, so he will have the gold gathering finally, but it's crazy. I wonder if we went back, if he'd actually scouted that gold, because he was obsessed with getting that 4th gold constantly. And Jeando, beautifully done to identify as a weak point, and now beating him to the punchline. Imperial Palace is on the way. Decent reserves as well for Jeando to play off of at the start of the age up.
I'm not a big fan of the position of the Imperial Palace, though.
It is just weirdly far back.
It doesn't really give you vision over any of your resources, right? Like, it only gives you vision over maybe your top stone and that one wood line there. I would have preferred in the middle of the map, actually, there next to the Barbican. That would have helped a lot. Look at it, he immediately uses the ability, sees the villagers, so he sees the villagers there in the corner on the gold.
Yeah, so he knows that GiveUA is inevitably following suit here. And, I mean, what more does this landmark need to do for you?
It kind of just tells you what is going on in the game. Like, everything. Literally tells you everything in the game that's going on.
How many players do you think have been accused of map hacks because they were playing China and pressed that button?
Cal would know. He's the one that has to moderate Reddit.
You know my favorite one at the moment? Twice a month, okay. You know my favorite one at the moment is the amount of people accusing people of cheating because they have 7 relics on Altai. There's 7 relics by default.
Oh yeah, you got the ruins there.
Yeah.
Excavation ruins, yeah.
Imagine if we get to this game free and everyone thinks that one of these players cheats because they've got 8 relics. Horsemen now diving in. Villages, and there's not enough room in this inn. And we have not got a stable for you to hang around in. There's going to be hesitation. Jeando didn't want to dive past.
Yeah, Jeando knows that there's another very juicy target. It's the gold villager. What gold villagers? I don't see any gold villagers.
Whoops. Yeah, no, these aren't gold villagers. These are just pedestrians, all right? We clearly had a kill contract for gold workers.
I don't know who those fellas are.
Yeah, they're
look, on my hit list.
They look like jewelry shoppers. I noticed they had golden nuggets, but I don't see any pickaxes, so they're safe. Oh, but these guys, 1 spearman. Crackety, this game isn't realistic. Look at the size of that spear. He could easily shish kebab at least 3 people.
At least. Oh, horseman? I'm not gonna try.
You ever just look
Maybe? No, still not gonna try.
You ever just look at the size of the horseman spears and wonder how they need to get so close to melee?
You know, you're making an interesting point.
Yeah, maybe we just Sapahi everything.
I'm wondering what kind of impact it would have on civilization if we made Sapahi range the default for horsemen.
There would be less complaints about French knights, more complaints about horsemen.
I think we would all be better off for it.
There would be mixed complaints, though. Some people would say they're still too weak because they keep sending their horsemen into spearmen. But when you send them into archers like this is the perfect type of fight. Knights are going to hug up against the archers. They're going to switch sides here. It's like, wait a second, you counted that, I counted that. Switch! So Knights now contesting north, but second wave of spearmen is going to be coming through here for Jeando. He's clearing a lot of the heavy cav out. And there's a good disposal as well. You don't really want horsemen anymore. So Lancer follow-up now queued for Jeando. He's wiped a decent chunk of those knights, reduced the archer count. He still has map control, but there's no extra element, right? Like, he's got crossbow switch, but we're not seeing relics played for by either player yet.
Nah, this was really good for GUA here at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think he kept...
Really, really good. The horsemen were still incredibly valuable, and he did get veterancy in on them as well. Like, just as a raiding unit, being able to outrun the knights at any point in time. Losing all of them there, that's a lot of value down the drain.
I do wonder... Like, I guess the other thing for GUA is, like, he doesn't... We always have to remember, it doesn't need to be a good trade, right? It needs to be an even trade. Because if it's an even trade, Guildhall...
Jeando still messing knights, spears, and has some crossbows in there as well. GUA now the one that's going into horsemen and adding arbaletria.
I mean, beneficial, right?
Yeah, arbaletria is going to take a while.
It's the best crossbow in the game, right? So something you want to be able to get into. The only problem I have with what GUA is doing with this is, like, A, you don't have a keep making this much cheaper. B would be the map is still really open. Like, actually... In fairness, it's warranted because Jeando is doing it as well. But if you think about it, crossbowmen on bold lands tend to look good once you've walled your corner.
How many villagers are on that barries there from Jeando? In the
not
south,
as many as
at the south of his base.
You mean the north of his base? Oh wait, oh
Right
my
there,
god, that one. Sorry, I don't know why.
28 villagers on the... We could have the same situation as in the last game with the woodworkers.
Don't you dare. Don't. Well, it would make sense. We've already purged all of the lumberjacks from society. Right? Now we need to remove the ancient art of pulling berries off of a bush, which I don't mean to devalue what foragers do, but my daughter's 3 years old and she could do that job. Now, not eating them would be the challenge for her.
It is a hard job, not because it's hard to do, but because it's straining.
Mm-hmm. Well, I live in the Britlands where everyone, not everyone, a bunch of people moan about foreigners, but they don't want to do that job on the farm, so.
Get to it then. Do it yourself, but yeah. That's a whole nother can of beans there.
Coming in. Villagers are going to get sacked again. Like, this is getting ridiculous.
The spearmen not just on. Oh my god,
it's happening. Wait. He sees.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, but like, you know, compared to last time, you know, this is like on a scale to, oh my god, my spine is completely displaced.
It's happening on both sides. It's happening on both sides. GUA actually lost more workers. Where did GUA lose his workers?
It wasn't just here, right? Because that dive was happening forever.
Wait. I see. I don't see a resource where they died on, but I see a ton of villager bodies there where the knight just left from.
But why? Like, that was where the fight was. Has he just been that obsessed with getting the gold?
I'm not sure what happened there, but GUA actually lost a lot more workers there than Jeando did. Like
somehow.
a lot.
Well, it was already a 10 difference, right? So at least it hasn't scaled further. Oh, God. I mean, you have to at some point, right? But, like, would you like to look at what Jeando has been doing while you've been doing the little plus farms? Because his looks better.
It's going to take a while. These are not enough farms for this many villagers here.
No, he's got, what, almost 1,000 wood income a minute, though, so he should be able to inflate. Actually, no, that was most of the woodworkers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to have to remake her there a little bit. Still more raids. Oh my god, again.
Now
the workers are being found out.
This is why they keep disappearing. Borderland is such a hard map, man. Like, it looks easy because you start in a corner, but you quickly realize the corner doesn't have much in it. You have to come out.
Yeah. Payoff of 1 villager kill, though.
Oh, I mean, considering you're building more villages over time, I think you just take that. GUA, you know, he is going to have that Guildhall pull soon, but the problem is he hasn't got the gold for it, right? Presumably it's on food. It always is. So he'll be fine in that department. This entire game can be summarized as GiveUAnxiety does not have enough gold.
Is this the moment in time where you just pull every single villager over to gold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the 8k in the top?
And you just try get the Red Palace off inside the base from Jeando?
Okay, I wasn't sure. I think we go that. What I'd like to see is, like, you go the 8k on the north side, you get what you need, and then you Red Palace drop the Barbican, right? You go Palace beats Barbican. That's the thumbnail.
I don't think that's worth it, though.
You don't think it's worth it to, like, Red Pulse drop a Sacred Site, an 8k gold, and a tree line? Or killing a Barbican?
I think it's worth more to immediately take down the entire infrastructure of your opponent with a single building.
Got it. So you'd like me to Red Pulse drop the only Civ that will not have all their landmarks at this point?
It's not about like a landmark sniping. It's about sending a
you
message.
want him on the farms, don't you? Yeah, you want him. This granary's gone.
Now, right next to the TC, I want to take the Imperial Academy. I want to take all the villages,
See,
production buildings.
Your problem is you're misunderstanding the depths of envy, right? It's like if you go look at GiveUAnxiety's farms near that relic that he's now picking up, they don't look very nice. So, yeah, if I was him, I'd be looking at my opponent's farms and going, wow, yours are so much better. I could get better looking farms, or I could just kill yours, you know? Sometimes in life, it's easier to destroy someone else's perfection than achieve your own.
All right, my interest is peaked now, though. Like, can we get a little glimpse at the guild hall from GiveUA? Just to, like,
it has to
get
be
verification of how far across we are. Oh, he took it. He took it at some point. It's only at 400.
Like, what? So he must have taken it at, like, 800.
Why did he take it? He had so much food still. Why did you redeem it?
Because for a moment there, he didn't consistently have over 1,000 food in reserve, Crackety. What are you meant to do when a cold winter comes? People will die, okay? You need to have enough food.
Oh, man. This is questionable. Questionable right now.
If there's anything I've learned from watching NA, it's that they do different, okay? You say questionable, they say you just don't understand.
I really don't, KP. I really don't.
You need to expand your mind, right? It's like not being aware that pigeons are surveillance systems for the government.
I mean, that one's just a well-known fact at this point. Like, people that don't know that, like, wake up, read a book.
Yeah, but, like, Europeans were late to catch on to that. French people still just think pigeons are all French. I should know. The amount of times where people see my name and start speaking French to me is getting crazy. All right, Night Trader.
Pigeon?
Pigeon? Oui, oui. Je le pigeon.
Maybe because it sounds similar to Peugeot.
Maybe. They think I'm a car?
Yeah.
A Peugeot? Peugeot? Oui, oui.
I mean, wasn't that the company that they contracted to make the pigeon drones? No! That's the wrong direction!
That's not a safe tower!
Don't dead open inside!
Seek shelter in the afterlife. Clash now coming through with the army after they've had the appetizer of the workers. GiveUA has got the counter unit against this mini spears, but we're moving a little bit slow, kind of letting them actually hit us in the face a lot. And the crossbowmen are just sweeping through the remaining knights. This
GiveUA is holding. The issue is, though, he's got 3,000 food in the bank, KP.
What's he holding?
Got 3,000 food.
He's holding the food. That's what you're saying, right? Because the only other thing he's holding is the door open for a game 3. This is ridiculous.
And he's losing villagers still. He's at sub 50 now. He's lost 50 this game.
I am reporting both of these players for villager abuse. They're disgusting human beings. Game number 1, Jeando just saying workers are overrated. I love Cal. GiveUA just going, wow, that was a close game when you lost all those workers. I guess I can just do the same. Seek shelter is not your friend, folks. If you're watching this, if you're thinking using that button, take the button off your keyboard.
I think GiveUA wants to get a keep up now. He's gathering the last little bit of stone that he needs.
I have no villagers left. Let me use the last villagers to gather stone. Yeah,
I've got no mouth, so I must scream.
I mean, I think what happened here is Jeando probably just all chat typed eat rocks, and GiveUA took it a bit literally.
Oh, man.
The good news is his food is a bit more balanced now. The bad news is because he's got no income.
Yeah.
This is the messiest
This is one of those situations, right, where the game should be over.
Yeah.
And it is. But also we're still watching it.
But, like, here's the other thing, right? Like, this is by far the longest first round that there must be, right? And I'm just going to veto it now. I don't want us returning to this side of the bracket afterwards. Because this is a bloodbath of villager losses, okay? Like, I mean, I relate to peasantry a little bit. I'm not from nobility. This could have been me.
I remember just yesterday tuning into GiveUA's stream when he was playing a 2-hour, 40-minute long game against someone on ladder. I just had to comment, yeah, this is the average length of a GiveUA game, and like
it never used to be, it never really was. Do you remember the days where it was always the
where
rounds.
He would play 3-hour-long games against Faye as well, or 3-hour-long games against who was it again that he played a 3-hour-long game? Was it Garnath?
Maybe it's Garnath.
Might have also been.
I think I was thinking like
like
OG GiveUA though, where it's like every civ is a ram rush civ and feudal. Those days.
Oh yeah.
Those were good days.
Those days where TCs would still prior attack rams when there were units nearby.
Ah, the good days.
It was fun.
Now with these AI-assisted smart TCs. What's next?
Shooting
Auto-queuing?
units instead of rams. Auto-scouting, auto-everything.
Auto-winning?
Just play the game for me.
I mean, if you want to auto-win, you just pick China, though. All right, this is GG.
Fair.
It's felt like it's been GG for a long, long time.
It has, but sometimes players see it differently.
Uh-huh. In which case, it may be a good idea to get an appointment booked to your local opticians. In fairness to them, they can't see the full map like we can.
At the latest, when all of these workers here go down, right? Like
it has to be, right?
Oh. Now see, typically this is where a player would say GG and goes to the next game, but because GiveUA managed to save half of those villagers, there's a value proposition to him still being alive.
Well, also, if you think about it, GiveUA keeps using Seek Shelter instead of Garrison, which suggests that his G key isn't even on his keyboard at this point, right? And that is a good
left mouse
excuse.
button.
Yeah, for all those workers dying, that's a great excuse. All right,
that's it, though.
That is it. GG. Game free, guaranteed.
Oh man, so we are gonna be going to that game number 3 here between Jeando and GiveUA, and this is a situation. You mentioned it earlier, KP, right? Like he didn't pick the map where he had like a given game plan for with Mongols on Excavation. That should be the one that's coming up, though.
Yes, Mongols versus probably Japan, I'd imagine. He had Japan and what was
Makes
the other
sense.
pick? Was it HRE? He might have
it was
HRE.
HRE.
Actually. Okay, no, scrap that
Yeah.
HRE there. I think HRE is probably a better bet there, but they don't use the stone well.
think?
They have good feudal push.
I
Yeah,
like the idea of Japan, though. I really do. I think it's an interesting one with HRE, right? But the antithesis here with HRE, of course, is that you have to like actually excavate the relics in order to get them.
that's true. But maybe
So
just
having Japan and like getting the stone for the TC upgrade.
That's true, actually. Yeah, I mean, I know you've been obsessed over the level 2 Daimyo rush, right? Maybe this is the map you need to really hammer that one home.
I like the quick Bannerman. Like people get like just because of the timing that you can get it, people sometimes like get confused why there's a knight 5 minutes into the game in their base when they're not even playing up against French.
You know what's crazily underrated? Is like the amount of times I've seen people play feudal rushes Japan, and they just like they need a transition. They're dumb with a unit type. They don't delete the bannerman. Like he's the captain. He's the last one to go down the ship. It's like, yep, but we could have had an bannerman by now.
Just throw him away. Yeah. Send him in there.
Delete key.
Send
he still
me in,
buffs.
coach.
He still buffs. Come on, but we're not going to see
a little bit.
It's going to be the HRE. So yeah, I think people have been prioritizing this for the feudal rush though. So like your whole point around castle, I think they just try to never aim for that, which is ballsy.
I still like Mongols here more throughout it all. It's just the value proposition with HRE here, if you're going for feudal rush, is that you can make a lot of units. The value proposition with Mongols here is you can make more units.
Yeah. And the other thing is around these turfed up sites, right? The Forgotten Ruins. The thing I hate about HRE, it's the same thing I hate about Order of the Dragon. You're talking about civs that have very efficient villages. So garrisoning them inside these camps that generate stone at a fixed rate is disadvantageous compared to other civs, right? Like a Mongol player does that. That's a lot more resource. If you're Order of the Dragon or HRE, your villages are buffed up so much that it may be an improvement over your normal gathering rate, but it's not a world of difference. But let's see if he can make the difference here. Jeando versus GiveUA. a game free to decide it, and we're back on good old-fashioned excavation. Bring out your shovels, time to get digging. If you like relics or stone, this is the map for you.
Good old-fashioned excavation. The map hasn't even been out for that long.
It's been
already
an ST tournament
good and
already.
old.
Yeah.
Is that what makes it old?
Yep, it's old. It's, you know, of course it's old. Crackety, like, have you looked at those Forgotten Ruins? They're ruins. You send someone in to dig them up. It's an archaeological site, suggesting it is in fact old.
True and real.
Yeah, like you know, when we went to turf up half of our competitors in Age of Empires 4, bring them from retirement or different scenes, we actually had to take archaeologist brushes just to turf them up. And that is how we discovered the gem. Is Kilyadi. That guy had been buried underneath the pyramids for 200 years when we found him.
All right, let's see. We do have the Dark Age barracks coming in here from Jeando. Does get spotted out by GUA. But this doesn't really, I want to say, make a lot of sense to go for Dark Age rush up against the HRE nowadays, just because, like, you're so quick to the age up. With the HRE, like, you can really rush it up with your villagers and still have enough resources to get an archer range with a unit out before an outpost even finishes. Like, this only really makes sense if you pull 2 villagers for the outpost. And even then, HRE just goes to a different resource. I'm not a big fan of the Dark Age rush in, like, many situations nowadays anymore.
Yeah, but the reason why it's like not too bad on this map is the logic is you want to get the camps anyway, right? So it values the play. It's the same reason why Lancaster does it on these type of maps, right? I've been seeing a lot of outside Lancaster picks, and even when the spear rush looks really sucky, it doesn't matter because they just run to the corner and capture the Forgotten Ruins, right? So like, it's not bad if he fails to find a connect point with the spears. I mean, you can see he stopped at 2 now anyway, and the Archon is already on the way up from GUA. It's going to be an Archon 4 to the base on the berries and the tree line. I wonder... No, you wouldn't do pro scouts on this map, right? I mean, you could.
You could, but even then, like, a forward Archon always feels incredibly suboptimal.
Yeah.
And there was a definite, like, choice there to, like, put it in the backside and just get it on gold, get it on wood, still have the TC in range.
Like, why did he choose this? Because, like, you get berries, but, I mean, I feel like...
It's berry. It doesn't matter that much. Like, just one prelate. But on the other hand side, you got 4,000 gold, and you've got a safe Archon on the back of your base. Now it's forward.
The interesting thing is, like, there's been a lot of maps at the moment where, actually, when Archon comes in, it feels like it needs to be pro scouts for it to be good. Like, Minework has been getting some better value. With this type of spawn, though, I think Archon would have just been a given for that gold.
And look at, like, I love what Jeando's been doing here. Like, he hasn't even gone for the Dark Age rush. He's just been exclusively using the Spearmen to capture up the Forgotten Ruins. This is going to give him so much tempo upon hitting, like, the age up and just being able to double produce units here.
Yeah, because the way to think about it is, like, these 3 villages gathering in those Forgotten Ruins will generate enough stone to almost get him a free Keshik every minute. Right? Like, well, 3 is like a stretch, right? But like, it's a very efficient trade out there compared to what Keshiks normally cost and how fast villages normally work.
Yeah, 100%. So GUA, what's his game plan going to be? We do see the archer range, makes a lot of sense, but he should be wary of Jeando just having the ability of getting the Keshiks out super, super quick, so should immediately be getting the barracks up with that.
I just realized something. It should be much harder for villagers to die in this game because they're in those Forgotten Ruins.
Yes, but also it should be much easier to get villager snipes by decapping those Forgotten Ruins.
That's true. But Seek Shelter won't grief as much.
All right, we do immediately have the barracks here after that. So now the question is Jeando gonna make Keshiks, or now there's also a value proposition of just double producing archers? You can get so many archers out double produced.
I mean, archer spam and archer spam is kind of intriguing here, right? Like, HRE are going to have that buff gathering rate, so they can somewhat compete, and you're always scared of the the movement speed. The cool thing is Mongols, though, is like if you utilize
the
Yam
movement
well,
speed as well.
exactly, right? Like I think I've seen a lot of games between Mongols and HRE where the mistake that's made is that quite often Mongol players are. It's almost like an oversight, you know what I mean? Like they could just build an outpost at home, have the aura, and then move the deer stone with them. And if they do that, HRE don't have that edge in the fight that usually looks so disgusting.
All right, we saw production building coming up before Jeando even reached feudal age, so I'm guessing that it should have been a stable, because stable is the only building, second production building that Mongols can make in.
That would also explain why GiveUA has
Age.
Spearman, right? I think he scouted it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. His scout though. Whoa.
Garrison.
Jeando. I mean, the car got the kill, but that was could have been cleaner. But yeah, GiveUA now riding blind. All right, steer the 1-1-1.
I mean, that's a lot of spears. Oh, he's gonna deer lure slowly.
Now the Arkin placement makes sense.
It's rabbit season.
Duck season.
Rabbit season.
Deer season?
That's gonna take a while for deer season to come by.
All right, duck season.
We have to wait a little bit for the season to change here.
It might be Mongol season. Fire! Yeah, he walked into that confidently, and it was not the fight he was looking for. Archers in waiting, so Spearman could actually end up getting sacked there. GiveUA, remember, has got the movement speed advantage.
There we go. That's the archers. So we're getting archers and Keshiks. Very nice unit composition. And what's also very nice here is, once again, because of all the stone gathering that you're getting in, right? Like, you don't have to really spread your macro that far between all the resources, because half of anything is going to be stone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, there's no villager inside there. It's all good.
No, he already toughed it out. Yeah, like the way to think about it's very interesting when you change your mindset on the game as well, because like I don't know if we really had a comparative before for Mongols and their stone, but you have to think of stone for Mongols like olive oil.
What's he doing? He pulled the villagers out. Now he's pulling the one on right hand back.
Oh, dude, it's the eject. There's a stupid thing with the seek shelter thing. Yeah.
Yeah, when you like return everybody.
Yeah, because I think it's like I remember having this explained to me before, where like it's if you seek shelter, it will pull them out of the Forgotten Ruins. It's really dumb.
Good thing we don't have any.
Yeah, sorry, return all to work. That was right. Yeah, return all to work sends them out. It's frustrating.
Is there enough spears? Only 4 spears, but enough archers. Ooh, this is really bad for GA. So sad that he didn't pull the deer stones forward though.
The other thing that's rough here is, like, imagine if GiveUA was going to steal down instead of undermesh, right? Like, you have a little bit of a backup answer to the Keshiks. Instead, it's for full retreat. He just gave up with it. He's like, screw it, screw the deer shove.
Oh,
the problem is, guys, that tower is not up. No way does he get that up. What?
Oh, Jeando's not committing, though.
No, he's distracted. There's a poke at the back of his base. GiveUA sent some troops around.
Very small poke, though.
Yeah, tiny. Apparently enough to warrant attention there. So Jean will just back up. He's unhappy. He's like, wait a second, I can get more passive stone.
That's already a lot of Keshiks that he's got out on the field. That's pretty massive. Just looking at the army value, it's kind of crazy having Mongols with 600 more army value than HRE when both players have been constantly investing.
Yep. And that is the power of this stone gen. It's absolutely insane. We talked about at the start of the day. It's not just you're getting extra resource. It's extra production rate. That's the other way you have to think about it. It's like it's kind of like it's a feudal Burgrave, really.
Yeah, like the efficient production you mentioned with Delhi, kind of being baked in, but also having cheaper units. Ooh,
oh yes.
Sacrifice one of the Keshiks, but there's still so many of them.
Oh no,
one died. Has to be really careful.
Yeah, and especially with Undermesh coming, so it looks like Jeando is becoming an enablers for the Keshik. Not really looking at the archers as the primary, it's just his clearer to get through the spears.
He just needs to always have like 12 to 13 archers alive, so he's going to be able to one-shot the spears.
Yeah.
As long as he's able to one-shot the spearmen with the archers, it's all about just having the Keshik numbers here.
Still, he's not feeling the confidence, right? Like, if you were, you would have moved this deer stone upfield by now.
Yeah.
Just to kind of enable you.
It just helps you so much.
And he makes you quicker, right? Like, you get more speed than marching drills gives. And now, looks like the archers are going to get cleared out. Pushes them away. Jeando didn't produce more behind this, though. So, yeah, now not at the point where he can one hit.
Down a little bit. Yeah.
Was he thinking about
speed
castle?
arrow? Nah, there's no way. Castle doesn't really benefit him in any major way at the moment, I want to say, unless it's curl tie.
Yeah, but he's, I mean, 11 archers, 10 Keshik curl tie, right? It's like...
There's better things.
Yeah, like I've lost count of the amount of games the Kurtai has lost because the person's playing mass Keshiks. Like, you just can't get the landmark in place. Well, Khan goes down. Didn't activate the arrows. Keshik's just going to stand the ground naked, click through. Archers to try and target fire down the spin as best they can.
I mean,
so it's working out.
Spearmen.
No, there's barely any though. God, that's it. GiveUA. Remember, he's in Yam range as well, so the archers can chase him. GiveUA is just like, this is a great trade. No, needs to bail in the end. It's a great fight for Jeando.
Yeah, that's really hurt GiveUA a lot right there. I think this is just so easily sustainable for Jeando as well with all the stone. He's now went out to the deer. Now is the point in time where he could look for just a quick castle age and get veterancy in on the Keshiks. That's when you can start just taking dives underneath the TC from your opponent.
You know what this is? This is like the manipulation of expectations, right? It's like standard Mongol versus HRE. At this point in the game, like, HRE just has so much more economy, right? But that's where this map changes everything. You almost have to treat Mongols in this situation like they're on a map where they're fishing.
Behind this, what's GiveUA's game plan right now? He still has a lot of food income. The thing that bothers me the most right now is this Archon. Like, this is not an HRE economy by any means at the moment. So many villagers are just not inspired at all right now. This is why we're also just seeing so many players at the moment prioritizing mine work instead of Archon Chapel. Sure, you have to actively make prelates, but at least your economy is going to be really good behind it. And if you get an H up in, you'll immediately have so many prelates to pick up relics with.
It just gives you so much tempo as well in general, right? Like, the blacksmith times are insane. Then there's the unique techs that come in handy, especially the Barded Arm, I think, has been the king. But we are getting that Kurotai, and Jeando, please get pack up tech. I have seen too many Mongol games.
Long. Yeah.
Dude,
he really there we go. He heard you.
He's a legend. You know what Patu, there we go. Thank you. Well. I was about to say, he's on it. Jeando knows. I was about to criticize that. Like, you have so much stone. Just get the better one.
And it's so quick as well. Suddenly these buildings start moving faster and like palace guards. They get like 1.49 tiles per second movement speed, something absurd.
Like, you just all of a sudden turn on the soundtracks from Tokyo Drift. Really just get that movement speed going. We're going the same place. Yeah, it's crazy the difference it makes. Because, like, if it's archers, you can kind of get away without pack-up tech. It's still weird. But with Keshiks, they move way too fast. You can't exploit it without them. So he's already moving them upfield, using the deer stone as well.
Speed upgrade comes in. Can we look at them? Just how quickly they move? There they go. Deja vu. They have been at this place before. Upgrade's not in yet, though. Oh, Kurultai, can it unpack in time?
Yep, he's going to move across. Look at that. Pack up tech. Wow. Now turns around for the clash. Healing's in. Damage as well. And remember, that's a 20% buff across the board. Keshik line is doing fine. There's barely any archers here, but the spearmen are struggling to get the clear speed. They are just melting against this damage.
Yeah, these are still veteran Keshiks now. They only take a single point of damage from this arrow fire while healing up with every single attack. They heal up more than the archers can do damage to them.
Now, just move that Kurultai a little bit deeper because we've got some buildings to burn here, fellas. Okay, let's not get overly ambitious. Piece by piece. So quick on the unpack. I like how he just stands there like, by the way,
as well.
Soon. Yeah, GiveUA, he has no answer to men-at-arms. I mean, the bulks down the spearman. He's going to try for a castle play. Regnitz seems obvious, but you don't get anything out of Regnitz.
He forgot to cancel the villagers inside of the ruins. Suddenly there's 3 uncovered ruins.
All right, guys, Regnitz for GiveUA. He's got a plan now. Guys, he has to go Burgrave, and he has barely got any farms. This is pure nightmare fuel.
good amount of farms, just he's not going to be able to gather from them because the Archon is put forward.
Hey, I'm almost in your base. The classic Mongol experience. Hey, you look like you're missing a landmark. Do you want to borrow mine? Here, like...
There's a point where you can just start torching down buildings inside your opponent's base just for the bounty. Like, get improved bounty and just start torching things.
He doesn't have as much stone anymore. Remember, he
That's true.
dug this relic
Just
up.
normal bounty upgrade then.
Right, here we go. Burgrave coming. The burn can begin. It does buff burn damage as well, so... Kurtai.
That's another benefit.
Ranged armor 2's on the way, so soon he'll just be able to camp underneath the TC. For the time being, actually does hurt Keshik's a little. He's diving past. The Burgrave has almost been revealed. The Kurtai is going even deeper. Hold on a sec, guys. Can you just wait for my big brother to arrive before we start the street fight? All right, big bro's here. You want to go? We can do this all night.
Oh, no.
Doesn't clash.
Oh,
Men-at-arms
no.
haven't been let in, though. So the Keshiks, there we go. Pulls him back now. Holds the choke point. Burgrave is about to complete, but at what cost?
And there it is. Mongols fully manifested now inside the base of GiveUA, and Jeando is going to be able to progress through the bracket up against GiveUA.
Yeah, no doubt about it now. Mongols, a given pick on this map. GiveUA with the HRE, it's a pick with some work sometimes, but the strat here, I think he just didn't respect or fully appreciate just how strong Mongol economy was going to be here. Pays the ultimate price. They'll have to try again tomorrow.